What's up, guys? I'm Joe Zapata, and this week on Movie Talk Review, we're going to be doing Reacher, and I'm going to be doing it with my partner in crime, Tony Stark himself,
Yes.
Dave DC Callari. What's up?
What's up, Jay-Z? What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Before we get started on Reacher, there's two things I want to just touch base on. First, Andor season 2, they dropped their trailer. Now, Mandalorian and Andor are one of my two favorite shows on Disney Plus. They dropped the trailer, Andor season 2. I gotta be honest with you, I couldn't get into it for some reason. The music didn't feel Star Wars like. It just got me out of it, and I really wasn't into it for some reason. I don't know. What did you think of the trailer when you saw it?
You know, I think in terms of the music, I get the feeling that because we went through a little period of time where it was a new Star Wars thing every other minute. I'm not as big into Star Wars as you are, but I really enjoyed the first season and a half of The Mandalorian. Second half of season 2 and season 3 kind of were downhill for me. I watched Boba Fett, and the best Boba Fett episodes were the Mandalorian episodes. I thought.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So I think with the Andor thing, they may just be trying to just get a new direction instead of making it the same type of. Are we going to hear the same kind of march, the same kind of John Williamsy thing, or are we going to just trying to rehash some of the old things we've already seen? They may just be trying to go through a new direction.
Yeah,
because Andor was very popular, did very, very well. And I think a lot of people who weren't even really into Star Wars that much were like, no, this is a solid show.
Yeah, it was really good. And we'll see what happens. You know, the trailer didn't catch me, but we'll see what happens with it. I'll give it time. I'll check it out anyway.
Listen, I'd rather have a mediocre trailer and a great show than a great trailer and a mediocre show.
Correct. 100% right. And normally trailers are supposed to grab you right away. Just the music threw me off. I don't know why. Maybe I'm used to the Star Wars music. I don't know. It just kind of threw me off. Felt like it was going to be into like a rock band video or something. I was like, what the hell is going on here? The second big thing is Kathleen Kennedy. She's obviously stepping down from Lucasfilm, which actually I think it's about time. Look, she's a great producer, Hall of Fame producer. Everything she produced, Jurassic Park, and all these things she's produced. But as a studio head, she's not really that great. So I don't know. What do you think about it, Dave? You heard the news too?
I didn't hear that she was stepping down, but I have heard that this has been on the wish list of many, many fans for a while. Maybe in the beginning when it first started, I think maybe it was unfair criticism because everyone says things go woke and this and that. Kathleen Kennedy, which but like if you're the younger generation, if you're a few years younger than we are, you don't realize her track record going all the way back and everything that she's done in the industry. And I think it just becomes harder to relate to audiences as audiences evolve. And sometimes you try to take big swings knowing what's worked in the past and doesn't seem to work anymore. And that's not really the fault of the person. And with the advent of social media, because everyone who has a voice now is able to project that voice. So the noise that you hear is always going to be very, very loud, and someone always has to take the brunt. And I think for a little while unfairly it was her. And listen, at this point in her career, she could call it a day, ride off into the sunset with her, with her Lucasfilm money, and and be fine. But you know what? I'm tired of trying to get people on my side. I don't need to be creative anymore. I don't need to do anything. Let me just get out of here. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to see. Something new is going to happen. I think she's going to the end of this year. They said she's going to give her to at least the end of the year to walk out, but she is going to be stepping down, and that's official, but not until the end of the year. So
and then it just goes to show if the gripes, if the content that comes out is roughly the same oeuvre, right, and you have the same complaints, it's like, well, then it wasn't her. And I stand by stuff we've said continuously on the show is that just the writing needs to be good. Yes, a lot of people have their hands in things, but if the writing is bad, that's really where it starts. But really, writers never end up on the chopping block, because without them, no project happens.
No, you're correct. 100% correct.
So someone has got to take the fall somewhere.
Yep. Well, we're going to see. We'll see what happens by the end of the year. Reacher. We'll get right into that. Reacher season 3, episodes 1 through 3 actually dropped February 20th. Actually, new episode drops tomorrow. The first 2 seasons. Before we get into that, maybe we should tell people that don't know Reacher, the character. He was a Lee Child's novels based on Lee Child's novel. There were a couple books. I don't know how many books there were. Maybe
there's a lot. I think there's around. I want to say there's like 25 books. Because this newest season is based off Persuader, which is the 7th book, and that came out in 2003.
Yes.
So it's going back a while.
Going back a while. Now they did originally movie, Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise.
I loved that when I saw it.
I was going to say that was a great. The second one, I did not like that much. It was okay, but I wasn't too crazy about the second one. But the first one, Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise, great, really great. How do you compare Alan Richardson and Tom Cruise? Who do you like better?
I don't compare them at all because they're completely different. Like, so obviously Alan Richardson is so much closer to what Reacher really is in the books.
He's a big dude and looks. That's what it appears. Correct, 100%.
Yes. What I found believable in the movies was that when you had punks or people trying to tail Reacher or whatever, they would step to Tom Cruise and be like, "Yo, I can beat you up." And then you see how skilled he really is. So the only bit that it hasn't really been believable for me, and doesn't really take me out of it, but if you really sit and look at it for a second, you've got some of these string beans, 150 pounds soaking wet, talking smack to 6'5". Reacher is 6'5" tall and 6'5" wide. And it's like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. He's a big dude. And is it me or every season he gets bigger and bigger?
Yeah, so I went back and was rewatching season 1 just because why not? And I was like, whoa, there is a significant weight difference between 1, 2, and probably 3.
Now I did hear he's on TRT. I did hear that.
Yeah, and I remember he mentioned that on one of his interviews on a podcast, and which is fine. I mean, listen, is TRT the socially acceptable thing to say? Sure. Could there be other things in there? I mean, listen, you and I have been around the weightlifting game for a long time, so there could be. But I mean, he's been transparent about it off the jump, so it's fine. He was on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, Inside of You. I think after maybe right before season 1 came out, and he had mentioned how he had gone through a really dark time of like depression, not knowing if he was any good to be in this business. So, and working on Reacher really wore him down. So he's like, I need to do something for myself. So if the TRT or whatever is part of his protocol to like remain healthy, fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Plus, you look awesome in the show, so whatever.
He does. I love his character in the show. I really do. So episode 1 starts off. We'll get right into it. I don't know. He's in Maine. I think that's where he starts off, Maine, and then he witnesses a attempted kidnapping. I guess that's how it goes on. Attempted kidnapping, and then he sort of gets his way, shoots accidentally the cop, and the whole 9 yards. Really good. Like all the seasons, season 1 was my favorite. Season 2 was okay, but it went down a little bit. I think season 3 is picking up right where 1 was, where he does his own thing. Because what would you think? He's more like of a drifter, military hobo type of deal?
Yeah, so what I like about Reacher is that as long as you know a couple of through lines for the character himself, who he is, what he's done, you can see any story. You could probably read any of the books, and you're fine. You don't need to have seen anything. And the first, the opening scene, that scene goes for maybe 7 minutes, and then you see what happens, and the big title card comes up, and I'm like, oh, here we go. This is good, So it did the job. It definitely did the job.
Yep. Michael Anthony Hall plays Beck, which is the father of the kid who gets kidnapped. I think that episode they do the Russian roulette, correct?
Yep.
That was pretty interesting how they did that too, because normally that Reacher, some say, oh, that's not really like his character, but when you know him, he did do that. Great episode. Overall, I thought the episode started off with a bang. What did you think of the episode?
Yeah, like I said, I was like, something seems a little weird with how he was reacting and how he's reacting and what his strategy was during the kidnapping. But then obviously as soon as he picks up the phone and says, I'm in, and you're like, oh, what was that? And then you go back and see everything, it starts to make sense. Like, he's a very stoic, emotionless character. So his acting during the attempt, it plays as bad acting, but because everything's happening, no one's really going to pay attention to it. But if you're a savvy enough like watcher, you can kind of pick up on Oh, I should have seen that originally.
Mhm.
It's really great. Still, we have no idea. 3 episodes in, we have no idea what Beck's actual business is. We know it's not
Sure.
rugs.
It's not rugs. No, it's not
And
rugs.
we don't know who's running the show. See,
Correct.
the first guy who he was a former, I guess, colleague of Reacher's, Quinn, and
Mhm.
then the Julius McCade character, who we have
Yep.
not seen yet. So
Yep.
there's still a lot of question marks, but it's very interesting.
Mhm.
The the Paul
Oh, yes.
Verhoeven or whatever it is, this 6 foot or wait, it's like 6'9" or 7'3"
That's
fat
the
guy.
Barbarian arm wrestle
Yeah, yeah,
episode 2.
yeah.
That was
So we know these guys are gonna square off at some point. Um,
100%. Yep.
so yeah, I think the first episode was great, and they just kind of keep building on one another.
Yeah, the second episode brings him now he gets close to one of Beck's men,
Yep.
and that whole thing with the garage. They go look at the garage.
Mhm.
They go find, and then I love that scene where, I think his name is Andre, right? Andre was his name.
Yeah.
He kind of figures out Reacher is not who he is, and he takes his head and smashes it on right, just boom, boom, 2 seconds.
Yep.
That's Reacher. That's what he does. Great episode 2 also. And I like when he works by himself, actually, more than with the team, like he did in season 2. Like, I like when he does it by himself, more figured out.
The team was cool. I like to see where he came from a little bit and
Yes.
why he's maybe what we got to see how good he really was at everything he did, because his team was supposed to be the best at what they did, and he was still better than all of them.
Mhm.
He is good on his own. I like that while he gets his big bruiser moments, like he had to kill the angel doll guy, right? Like
Yep.
that. But he still has to be very calculated throughout the rest of when he's in front of everybody. So we
Correct.
kind of get to see 2 different sides of him, like his
Mhm.
bruiser bulldog side, and just like the more calculated strategist side.
Yep. And that's how we see as we build into episode 3, Beck obviously is hiding. It's bigger a situation than he's
Yep.
making it out to be. And we're figuring it out as he goes. And I think Anthony Michael Hall plays a great character in that. I think,
He's really great.
yeah, I like his his acting and everything. I thought it was really good. Episode 3, what did you think of that episode? Did you like that one too? How it builds in?
Yeah. I actually just rewatched it earlier just to kind of make sure I was getting everything.
Mhm.
I like how they're able to turn some exposition about like what he thought into the narrative, right? So he
Mhm.
comes out, he kills Duke in the house, in that
Mhm.
abandoned house,
Yep.
blows it up, comes running out, hands over the gun. Now, I may have missed at some point when he took Angel Doll's gun.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't see that either when
so
'cause
he hands it to Beck
like
in the
broke
car.
his
He's
arms
like,
and legs to get him into the desk. He like
yeah.
broke his arms.
So clearly, like, he's able to give us some exposition on what's going on without it feeling contrived or like not part of the story.
Mhm.
And again, without going back and rewatching the second episode, we might have not seen him when he got the gun. So everything kind of it's kind of like unfolding in real time, and we're
Mhm.
getting to see his plan like as it happens, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, his plan is to sort of move up to be Beck's number 2 guy,
Yep,
because
and that's where we leave off.
that's where we leave off, where he gets himself in a situation, works himself into the gang, sort of gets himself to the number 2 guy. And I
Yep,
think from there we'll see what happens. Now, there's a season already. They signed season 4 already.
it's great. Yeah,
They already signed season 4, and I think they're doing a spinoff called Nagley.
yeah, she's gonna be in this. So I like her character.
Okay.
I like that she tries to give him some emotional weight. Like,
Mhm.
hey man, we're cool, we're friends. Like she had that little speech at the end of season 2. She's
Mhm.
like, you call us like soldiers or teammates or whatever, but she's like, we're more than that. But she also understands the assignments when she's given them, and
Mhm.
she doesn't try to push him too hard to where she thinks he needs to be.
Mhm.
And she's a nice addition. She's not like a comedic break. She's just a nice addition to what he does. I'm just curious how much she's going to play into this, because he needs to maintain like such a low profile. And he said, I can't have my phone going off in my boot if I'm not expecting it. And
Correct.
if I caught it correctly, she's in whatever private place she's working for in Chicago. So she's not close.
Mhm.
And I don't know how she gets to be close unless, like, at the end of the season, like, everyone shows up, call all the reinforcements, cops are out, and we're just bringing the whole operation down.
The person who plays Beck's son, Richard, right? Is it Rich?
Yeah, Richard Beck. Yeah,
he likes Reacher, like really does. Like you can see he really cares for the character. Kind of like he's like, oh, because he's a bodyguard. Let's say.
Yep. Someone who Reacher's probably the first person who's paid attention to him.
Yes, you could tell that, and he looks at him maybe as a father figure, so that's why he's gravitating to him. And I think maybe Beck, I don't know, but I think something's going to happen by the end, and so someone's going to maybe die. I don't know. That's why I think it's leading into you, like you said, big payoff between Paulie and Reacher. I think is going to happen. When I don't know, but that's definitely going to happen. Overall, what'd you think of the season?
I think it's great. Like I said, I was hooked as soon as I saw the twist. And it's not even like I read a quick little review somewhere that because they had read the book, apparently the book keeps the twist of the kidnapping being like staged almost through the entire book. So you don't really even know that was staged until far later on. So like, oh, they ruined it. And they're not even trying that hard. But it's like we're not trying to make that a part of we're not trying to make that the focus of the story. So I thought it was a great way to hook it. It also gives you an idea of how serious Duffy, Agent Duffy, and the other two are. I also like her.
That's a good point.
She seems very no nonsense, much like Roscoe from season 1, but in a different way.
Yes,
right. Like Roscoe she had a little bit of a tenderness to her, but she also didn't put up with Reacher's stuff, even though he didn't really push back on her. Duffy seems to give it as much as she takes it, and is a different type of match for him. And he seems like he respects her, because even in the first episode, she's like, "Why would you say that about her informant?" And he's like, "Well, you're too smart for that, and I don't want to disrespect you."
What do you expect for tomorrow's episode? What do you think?
I think we're going to see him getting closer to Beck.
Yep.
And I think we're going to see some more raised eyebrows from the rest of Beck's people.
Yeah.
I think Paulie especially. I think Paulie's probably going to lead the charge. It's good that his son likes him.
Yes.
And I get the feeling that the help likes him. The
maid,
the girls in the kitchen.
Okay.
I think they like him too. So there's going to be enough people kind of looking out for him, where you would think Reacher is like ice skating uphill. I think it's going to be Paulie who's going to be ice skating uphill. I think he's going to be fighting a little bit to have people see his point.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's episode to see what's going on. Now, I know, by the way, the Negley spinoff, my friend Matt Del Negro, he's actually an actor. He played on Sopranos, Brian Caminati in one of the seasons. He's actually told me he's going to be in the show for the new one.
Cool.
So I asked him, I said, "Oh, well, maybe you can come on with me and Dave one time, whatever." He said, "Look, I can't tell you much about anything." He said, "But maybe come on and say hello or whatever and talk about previous seasons." But he's actually in the spinoff, so it'd be pretty cool. Matt Del Negro is his name. I just want to give him a shout out. He's a pretty cool guy.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good. So, like I said, I'm looking forward for tomorrow, that episode, see what happens.
How do you feel about the way they drop the episodes? Because we've had
3
streaming services do it differently, right? So like we get the first 3 and then 1 a week, which is fine.
Yes.
I like it better than just 1, because I think with next week Daredevil, we get the same thing. I think we get 2, 1, and then we get another double drop, because I think they want to have that finished before Andor drops.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because when I watch it, I want to binge watch it. So I want to watch it, absent end. I want to watch it again for the next episode. I like it dropping. I don't like them dropping it all at once. Like with Cobra Kai, they drop everything at once sometimes, whatever. But I like how they do it, 3 episodes at a time and then watch it. But I'm going to be wanting more after it's over.
That's why I went back and watched season 1. I'm like, all right, well, we got to wait for this one. Let's go back.
How do you like it?
I'm definitely torn. Because we both come from a generation where you had, like, when I was a huge X-Files fan,
you had to wait.
If you missed the episode, you were out of luck until they reran it in like 6 weeks.
Correct.
So you had to be there Sunday night, 8:00. That was when everyone shut up and watching the X-Files or whatever.
Exactly.
So it brings it back to that a little bit, like appointment TV. It does create some kind of excitement for it, instead of just being like, "Oh, this is on, let's watch it. Oh, we killed it in 2 days, and like, what's next?"
Yeah, we couldn't, even back then, we couldn't, if we missed an episode, we couldn't even go on YouTube or anything and watch anything because back then it really wasn't. There was nothing.
Yeah, you just had to catch the rerun after a couple of weeks.
Correct. That's what you had to do because there was nothing else on. But I mean, I enjoy it. I do like that they show them, 3 at a time. I get to watch them, and see what happens. But it's not bad. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's episode. See what happens.
It's a great show. I do like that it drops at like 3 a.m.
Oh, does it? I don't. I
Yeah.
usually
So like Disney, right? So Disney drops episodes at like 7 or 8 or 9. Like they're later in the evening. So like tomorrow's a cardio day at the gym, so I'll be able to watch this while I'm doing cardio in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be caught up nice and early.
Yeah, because I do remember Mandalorian would drop at like 6 a.m. And I remember when I get up for work, I'd be like watching it like on my way to work. So that's why they drop them early. Yeah, you're right. Oh, but that's good. Cardio, you'll be watching it tomorrow, episode 4. See what happens.
Yeah.
One other thing also I want to touch on before we wrap up is the box office for Captain America: Brave New World actually took a bigger fall than I thought it would. And they're saying now, and like I said, I don't know the actual numbers right off the top of my head, but they're saying that it doesn't look like it's going to make money. But at the end of the day, I enjoy the movie. So whatever. Yeah. What did you think about the box office?
I didn't get to see the numbers either. I thought about that today, trying to check. So usually you'd like to see, I think at this point you'd like to see maybe you'd expect a 30 to 40% drop.
Correct.
If it's been more than that, it's not great.
It was a 68% drop. That's not.
I mean, it's considerable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because there's nothing out to like push it. There's no competition right now. I don't think. I heard the Monkey did fairly well.
Yeah.
Which I have not seen, but it also doesn't seem like the kind of movie that would push it, like really push it out. So I don't know. It depends on how much longer it stays in the theater because I can't imagine the Monkey sticks around for much longer. So if Disney decides to give Captain America an extra couple weeks in the theater, it could pick back up.
Yeah.
Especially, listen, even though Daredevil and Cap aren't like connected, if you get another good Marvel property out next week, maybe people decide to be like, oh, maybe I'll start to do, maybe I'll go back to the theater and see this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I know they say it's not going to do well, but we'll see. I don't care. It is what it is. Also, we have the Oscars coming up. Actually, I don't know if you know the Oscars are coming up. I've only seen, I think, one movie that's on that list. Actually, I think The Brutalist I saw. That was the only one I saw. But I didn't see any. Did you see any of the movies that were nominated?
No, I feel every time I see the Oscar nominations, I'm like, I don't know what any of these things are.
Yeah, they did have the Razzie Awards, and I saw, I think the Joker 2 was on there. Did you see Joker 2?
I did not. I was going to watch it on streaming, and I was like, you know what?
No,
it's not even worth it.
No, that was the one on there that stood out the most. But other than that, no. But I usually like to see who wins on the Oscars. I know Best Actor Adrian Brody's on there. There's a couple of people, but I didn't see the movie, so I really don't know which is what.
I think it's great that like someone like Brody, right? Like I think he's a good actor. People need to get people. I would rather see the individual actors get their accolades than like the entire film. Just because, like, if it's the thing I don't really get down with, or sometimes the narratives change, or the things that they promote, or whatever. I don't know. It's definitely for the film industry. I don't think the movie going public cares that much anymore. It's changed so much.
Yeah, it's changed so much. Yeah. It has. One more thing on Reacher though, I did notice the critic reviews have been through the roof. Did you see?
Yeah, I saw the same thing. I also didn't know that. Like, I watched season 2. Like, I thought it was good. It was different.
Yeah, I think good.
I think Robert Patrick really brought a weight to the villain for sure.
100%. Yeah, he did.
As I was looking up reviews for season 3, I was surprised to see how many people were like, "Yeah, season 2 was fine." Right now, everyone seems to go 1, 3, 2.
That's exactly how my order is.
Yeah.
It's not bad because I like them all. That episode, season 1 was really great. Season 2 just fell back a little bit to me, but it's still great to watch. And then this season so far is starting off really strong.
I'm sure the books are no different. I'm sure I'm sure with the 20 some odd books, they can't all be bangers. I'm sure there's one sleepy little clunker in there somewhere, but the Reacher clearly has such a huge audience that people aren't going to care.
Yeah. I know. Well, and people like that. I mean, I love Alan Richardson in that role. I would love to see him as Batman too. For some reason,
big as a bus Batman.
He's big. He'd be like Ben Affleck. He's big, man. That guy. So I'd like to see him as Batman or something because he was Aquaman in the Lois.
Smallville.
In Smallville, correct. Smallville.
Yeah.
He was Aquaman. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I watch it all the time. But that's really about it, Dave. Anything else you got?
No, just waiting for tomorrow morning, and then next week we got Daredevil on the horizon.
Daredevil coming. Yeah, that's right. I can't wait for that. They're going to drop
preliminary reviews on that. Are outstanding. I almost don't want to see any more early reviews because I don't want to have. I want my hopes to be what they are. I don't want them to be any higher or lower.
Yeah, I did hear that the reviews are really good. So I'm really looking forward to Daredevil. Can't wait to see that. Now, are they doing a Punisher spinoff, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know.
Something with him.
I enjoyed season 1 of the original Punisher. Season 2 was clearly like one of those deep cut stories that unless you read all the books, you're like, what is this? I didn't enjoy it that much the first time around, but we rewatched them last year, and I either didn't pay that much attention or I just got way more out of it this time around. Season 2 I thought was actually very, very good.
Yeah, I like John Barthol as
he's fantastic.
He is, and I love him in The Accountant too, because Accountant 2 trailer came out. Yep. I love that role, him and Ben Affleck. He's just a great actor.
I could have sworn I thought he was. I saw The Accountant. I thought it was great. I thought he died at the end, though. Clearly, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. But no, we'll see. But Daredevil, what day does that come out? Daredevil? Do you remember what day?
4th. I think it's Tuesday.
Tuesday the 4th. Correct.
Yep. So we'll have
talk. That's what it's gonna be. We're gonna be talking about Daredevil, one of our big ones. All right, Dave. Well, I will talk to you next week.
Hey, man.
All right, man. Take it easy, brother.
All right, man.
You got it, man.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand Podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.